Now it's time to put our DC39 back together. So we're going to take the disassembly process and do it backwards. First of all, we're going to take this motor bucket and make sure that each of these little rubber feet lines up with little holes on the inside here. Next, we're going to take the bottom shell. It's this one with the serial number on it. And we're going to sit this motor and cable rewind assembly inside. And again, we've got 3 rubber feet that we're going to locate inside 3 recesses there. Okay. And then we're going to flip this over so it sits like that. We're going to take this top shell and put it on the machine. Before we put the 2 together, we need to do 2 things. The first is to take our power cord, pass it through that hole. The second is to make sure the springs from our switches are located in the right place and that the cable is tightly wound so that we don't trap it between the 2 halves. Now we're going to replace 2 screws into these 2 holes with our T15 screwdriver. Just in there. Next, we're going to replace the tool catch just here into the back of the machine. I'm going to use the Phillips head screwdriver to do that. Now you can replace the 2 screws on either side of the ball in those recesses there. That's going to be one of the longer screws that we removed earlier. Next, we're going to rotate the machine and replace the other 8 screws that we took out from the other side. Once you have those 8 screws replaced back around the perimeter, you're going to take a screwdriver again and place it just between the white and grey plastics there. And then we're just going to pry outward until we hear a pop sound. And once you hear that pop, you should see that this catch has re-engaged. Do the same thing on the other side. Now that those 2 have re-engaged, we can take this handle and just gently move it down until that snaps in place. Now your bin release should be back to working normally. Next, we're going to go back to those ball shells. First, you need to push them just gently in place before adding back in those countersunk screws that we retained earlier on. Once those ball shells have been secured in place, we turn the machine back over and we're going to replace the steering assembly. So this part here is just going to slide on to the front of the machine, just like that, and then the pin runs through the whole lot. Now we're ready to replace those 4 shorter screws that we took off at the very beginning, and then we're almost done. And there's just one part left to do, which is to put our bin back in place. Now, we've got a small feature here which lines up with the underside of the bin. So we're just going to align those, put the bin in place, and your DC39 is back in one piece.